multiple categories, including financial advisor and wealth management firm for the past 5 years. You can find more information at shawassociatesinc.com or 530-674-1150. Shaw & Associates is proud to support community radio.
And in with me right now, I've got Nick Micheli and Mike Ziegenmeyer, both Sutter County District Supervisors. How are we doing, gentlemen?
Good morning.
Great this morning.
Good. Thank you.
I'm glad you guys are in here. You know, the government and politics, it's kind of one of my things that I enjoy doing. I got into it a few years ago, being on the grand jury. And so I got to meet some people and do some things. And I was like, hey, this really interests me. This is kind of cool.
Thank you for your service. That's incredible. I wish more would put out, that's a volunteer group there, and it's the watchdog for Sutter County. And Nick and I, we get those reports, and it helps us do our job.
It certainly does, yeah. And sometimes they are pointing out some glaring issues that you might not see, and not intentionally, but it is helpful for sure. So appreciate all your guys' work that you put in for sure.
Well, thank you. I appreciate all the hard work you guys put in. You guys, this is a 4-year term and there's a lot of things going on in the county. So one of the things you guys were talking about is going around town and actually hosting meetings in different places so that more people could actually get to the meetings. Yeah,
we're really excited about it. I mean, this is something that we talked about doing this last year, but COVID, like with most other people's plans, it's interrupted a lot of things, and so we're able to kick it off. And Mike's coming on as chairman at our next meeting, so perfect place to start is at Sutter High School in his district, and we're both Sutter grads, so perfect for us for sure.
Well, I'm a honker, so I don't know how I feel about being Sutter grads, or is that okay? I don't know.
You know what? My wife went to Yuba City High School. And here's the thing, when Nick came onto the board, and we had discussed, we're like, what? Back in the day, the supervisors used to have their meetings throughout the community, and we were wondering, what if we had them strategically around, in each supervisor's maybe every quarter in somewhere in their district. It could be at a high school, elementary school, and it allows the kids, or I should say our youth, to actually see what we're doing and get involved, hopefully get involved. I mean, you look at, there's quite a bit of 18-year-olds out there that are seniors.
When I think I was in here with you, Gary, a while back, and we had talked about we were possibly going to do this, and I'd mentioned to you that the time I've spent back in Washington, and meeting with staffers, and even in the California legislature, those staffers will tell you, a lot of them will tell you that they had made a decision that they wanted to get in government by the time they were finished with high school. There was something that they've seen or done, or just they had an interest in it. Right. And so maybe by us doing this, it sparks an interest in a student, somebody younger who might get into government. And that doesn't mean you have to run for office, but there's lots of government jobs you can do. And those young staffers, it's interesting, and you go back to Washington because it's just on Capitol Hill is just this buzz of energy. Like you feel it when you walk into the buildings, right? All these young staffers really working their tails off, and they don't get paid too much money. Right. But really, that's what keeps our government going. There are all these young people working so hard. So
yeah, one thing we're discussing is internships for the future, and we want to do everything we can to get the youth involved, and not just the youth. By having these meetings out in the community, we're able to get more of that community into the meetings that can't. I've been very adamant over the last couple of years on certain issues that have come up. I said, hey, maybe we should have this meeting out in my district, or maybe we should have this meeting out in your district, Mr. Supervisor, because it's really going to affect that portion of your community, not so much Sutter County in broad, but your community. And this opens the door to that. So we're excited. Hopefully a lot of people show up on Tuesday at 11 a.m. at Sutter High School.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
So you're having it at 11 a.m. on a Tuesday. Class is going to be in session then at the same time, correct? So
Right. And I don't know, I'm not sure if it's going to be just the seniors or juniors and seniors available, but
the reason why we're doing it at 11 a.m. is to allow those seniors that get off early to actually come in and participate and catch some of the meeting. Because now you have a lot of seniors that take off their last 2 periods of the day. Right. And with your freshmen, sophomores, and juniors there all day. So it allows them to partake and to see what's going on.
I think it's good too because, especially senior year, that's the year of government and econ. Right. And this is a way for those students to actually, the teacher can be like, okay, today we're having a supervisor meeting at our high school. We're going to that. That's going to be our class period. And you can actually see how government actually works.
And I think that, and Mike, I don't know if we have time for this, but maybe a short explanation sometime before or during the meeting to them of how your local government works. So, when you're learning in a civics class, everybody knows the basics, right? The three branches of government. You have your executive, your legislative, and your judiciary. And that's at a state and federal level. And I think that what's unique about local county government is that on a very smaller scale, you obviously have your independent judiciary and a superior court. But the Board of Supervisors is really kind of a hybrid of executive and legislative. So we are creating local laws. We call them ordinances, but they're just local laws, right? But then we're also tasked with enforcing those. And there's different mechanisms to be able to do that. Obviously, you have your sheriff's department and your district attorney, but we have revamped our code enforcement ordinance and really stiffened that up, hired more code enforcement officers. And so you enforce those ordinances by sending out these officers by issuing violations, fines. And then, of course, you have, as that stacks up, we can take civil action through our county counsel's office, or for criminal prosecution, we hand it over to the district attorney. But it's sort of that hybrid of both. And so I hope that, if anything, the students come away have a good understanding of local government and how it works.
Yeah, and one thing that was brought to my attention, I didn't realize that 11 years ago was the first time Sutter County actually had our own county flag.
Oh, right.
Flag.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And designed by a couple Sutter High School students, and that was Francisco Ruiz and Franklin Tarkey.
Yeah.
So that's really exciting. And I coached Franklin when he was in football at Sutter. And when Nick was telling me about this, Mike, did you realize it was two Sutter High School kids that actually designed the flag? Well, that's incredible. And that's history right there, because that's our flag, the Sutter County flag, designed by these two individuals. They're doing great things now. Yeah. But they took time out of their time, designed this amazing flag. I love the emblem. Couldn't have done a better job.
No, it's a beautiful flag, I think. Obviously, we're biased, but I think it looks good. But I've had other people from other counties say that they like the design of it as well. But it's weird. We were like one of the last counties to ever have it. I'm thinking, not sure why it took us 160 years to create a flag, but they did an excellent job, and two Sutter High students, so it was great.
Yeah, that's amazing. 160 years and you finally get a flag. Maybe next time it won't take so long, right?
Hopefully not. Yeah.
And I want to give a big thank you to Ryan Robinson of Sutter High School.
Absolutely.
Ryan's been completely 100% behind us on this, and he's excited to have us over there. And hopefully the other school districts will see how this goes, and they'll open up their arms. I'm sure they will, to moving our meetings around. But big thank you to Sutter High School.
Yeah, absolutely. And I say this all the time. I like to brag about it, but the Sutter Board of Supervisors is dominated by Huskies now, so 3 Sutter grads on the board.
Oh, man.
Carm Baines is a Sutter grad as well.
So. Oh, man. I think I gotta be on there now. Try to get there. Even it out just a little bit. So with going to Sutter High School and having your meeting there, are you focusing specifically on things that are happening out in Sutter itself with the meeting, or is it just...
It's going to be a completely normal meeting, just like we would have it at the chambers. Nothing will change. We want it to be exactly the same, so they see exactly what we deal with at every single meeting. So
yeah. So what are some of the things that we're looking at in Sutter County as far as what's happening, the temperature of Sutter County right now?
Well, there's a lot, really. We're always, it seems like at some point in some labor negotiations constantly, but we've had a busy year. I was in here one of the first times I came in after I was sworn in, and some of our meetings were going 4 hours, 5 hours. We had one meeting went 6 hours long. Like, the agenda was just that big. And so we've had a lot. We had a hemp ordinance we put into place, completely revamped code enforcement, hired new code enforcement officers. And so a lot of that. And, we're talking about some different rezoning issues and a lot of things like that. So I don't know. It seems like we're always pretty busy.
Yeah, and a lot of it has to do with each one of our own. When we run for office and people ask us, you're going to be my supervisor. Well, everyone should know that we're all as important in each other's district as we are in our own.
Right.
Because I need their help to get things passed that's going to make a positive impact in my district. Right now, in my district, a couple things I'm working on, a couple projects are getting Pass Road opened up as soon as possible. We're constantly fighting with the state. We're talking about a state property, not a county property. If it was a county property, go in there and open it right up.
Right.
But this is a fight. I mean, we're really fighting with this thing, trying to get them opened up. At least we can get a one lane through Pass Road for emergency vehicles and for the farmers.
Right.
Yeah.
You're looking at and you have, well, I shouldn't say they're smaller things because they're more of safety concerns, from lit up crosswalks to stop signs and slowing traffic down in certain areas, speed bumps, and we get a lot of those calls. And I would like to say from Better Way.
Yeah.
You know, you look at a Better Way right there off Live Oak Boulevard, and it's flourishing. It's doing a great job.
Yeah. One other thing, I think that this is important, not just in your district. All of us have concern about this, but the new FEMA flood maps that we had to adopt and are so restricting for any kind of development we're doing in the west or south part of the county. And they're imposing these on us to where, you know, depending on, you know, what the flood elevation is, you could have to sometimes build a pad up to 9 feet to build any kind of structure.
Oh my goodness.
And if you're in that flood zone and your house burns down, you're not allowed to rebuild it. And so we're now really going hard out, especially with this new infrastructure deal that just passed federally. We're working with our lobbyists to really go after some of that money. And so we're putting in applications, appropriations requests for a lot of levee work improvements. And once you can improve the levee, then you can apply to have that map reduced.
Gotcha.
But what is so frustrating about, and we've gone round and round about this, is it's the federal government imposing the restrictions on you. But because it's the bypass, we are reliant on money from the state government to do the improvements. And it's just an incredibly frustrating situation that we've been working on for a while, but that's something that's going to be to the forefront for us in the future for a while.
Right here in Sutter County, we have more ground that was mapped in flood zone than any other county in the whole United States.
Really?
70%, I believe.
Yeah. So so when the maps came out and the maps were out there, as a board of supervisors, we didn't have a choice but to accept these maps. All right. So by accepting these maps, we basically annihilated a lot of beautiful prime commercial industrial ground in Sutter County. So as a board, we're allowed to update the general plan so many times a year. We're working on that right now because we'd like to find ground that used to be nice industrial ground and do something with it, whether it be truck parking or take ground that has been used as crazy as it sounds, we have a lot of industrial ground that's industrial, that has an industrial warehouse building on it, but it's not zoned that way.
Right.
So if it was zoned that way, Sutter County, we would actually get more revenue through taxes. Plus, they would actually be able to operate with what they're.
Yeah, I was just going to say one other issue with that is a problem is a lot of people come to us and say, well, can you just issue a variance so that we can? Because if you're only talking about a foot or 2 feet, and it seems like common sense, like sure, but FEMA comes in every 4 or 5 years and does an audit, and if we're not qualifying for that, they have the ability to ban federal flood insurance for every citizen of the county.
Yeah.
So then not only would we be taking away flood insurance for everybody in the county, which they would run us right out of town quickly, but or worse. Not only that, but then you wouldn't be able to get FDIC-backed loans if you couldn't get the flood insurance.
Gotcha.
So that stops business throughout the whole county. So there's no way we can allow that to happen. And so the only option we really have is to fight for the money to do these levee improvements. And so that's what we're all working very hard on now.
I think that's something you guys bring up that's really important is you guys aren't just focused on just doing things in Sutter County. You're fighting for Sutter County, not only on the state level, but also on the national level as well.
Yeah, I mean, especially for this, we feel like we are being unfairly punished or having to pay for the disasters that happen on the Mississippi River or in Florida and Louisiana and Texas. And we're having to pay that price, and it's not fair. It's just really not fair. So,
it's aggravating.
Yeah, it is.
You
it's really
get
frustrating
frustrated coming out of some of these meetings.
Yeah.
Oh, I bet.
And say this is not fair. You know, you have New Orleans that could flood every year, but yet they're going to rebuild every year. You have Sutter County. If you have a rice dryer or a walnut hauler, and you're in one of those zones, and you were to catch fire, well, Supervisor Conan has a hauler in his district. If his hauler were to catch fire, he would have to go up 15 feet. Then he could expand, build back 15 feet. That makes no sense. It doesn't even work out.
Yeah.
So in my district, you look at on the 76 gas station on Acacia Avenue. They wanted him to build up 12 feet. That's on a major highway.
Yeah.
12 feet. Well, we going to have an overpass to get to the gas station?
In an area that's never flooded before.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah.
Well,
so there's a lot going on.
Yeah, a lot going on. So happening Tuesday at 11 o'clock in the morning, we're going to go and do your supervisor meeting at Sutter Union High School.
Yep.
You guys are super proud because you both are Huskies. You're like, this is
sure.
Let's start it off with a bang at our old place, huh?
Yeah, I think it'll be fun. And from what I understand, this has happened before, but it's been over 10 years.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
So none of us who are currently on the board have ever been around for it. So we're all pretty excited about it.
This will be great, especially you find places like Robbins and East Nicholas and all those places, those small little areas that they probably don't feel like they're getting represented very well, and then you can show that you are representing them.
Oh, I think Matt Conant might disagree with that.
Of course.
And like I said, it allows for those individuals that, Sutter's an older community, and sometimes they have trouble getting to the meeting and back.
Yeah.
So we're hoping, by having these meetings throughout the community, those individuals, it'll easier access to get to the meetings.
And also, even though it won't be streamed live, it will be recorded and posted right after.
Oh, nice.
So
where do you
people will
guys
still be
post
able
that?
to view it on the county website.
On the county website, okay.
Yeah. So if I could just before, are we getting ready to
we're getting ready to get out of here.
I just wanted to say one quick thing. Just a shout out and a big thank you to all the employees in Health and Human Services and Behavioral Health. They're doing a difficult job in an extraordinarily difficult time, and want them to know that we appreciate all the work that they do. So
yeah, I concur with that. It is uncharted territories. Here we are 2 years still with this.
Yeah, for sure. And that's,
Hats off.
That's definitely something that's been struggling for the last 2 years. Having everybody's mental health struggling.
Yeah, it's a difficult job.
Oh yeah, I'm glad to see these youth groups going 100%. It keeps our youth active, keeps them busy. We all get tired of the stupid TikTok stuff. A lot of these, and like I said, the last 2 years has just done a number on our youth.
Yeah, for sure. So ending it on a high note, we're going to go and see you guys out there, Sutter Union High School. So Nick, Mike, thank you guys so much for coming in today. Is there anything you want to say, Mike?
No, you know what? I want to say happy birthday in a couple days. My 1-year-old Savannah turns 1 year old.
Nice.
Oh, happy birthday.
I'm excited for that. I couldn't imagine life. This is our number 4. I couldn't imagine life without her.
Oh, nice. Yeah. That is exciting.
I'm glad we went for number 4.
So in a couple days, the 23rd.
Yep, 23rd.
That's the same day that the city of Yuba City was incorporated. Did you know that?
I did not
in
know
1908.
that.
Yeah.
You know what? I love learning new things.
There you go.
There you go.
Cool.
All right, guys. Thanks so much for being in.
All right, thank you.
This community interview is made possible by Shaw and Associates.
I'm Dave Shaw, President and CEO of Shaw & Associates. For over 65 years, Shaw & Associates has been your trusted local expert for wealth management, tax, accounting, and payroll. Thank you for voting us Yuba Sutter's best in multiple categories, including financial advisor and wealth management firm for the past 5 years. You can find more information at shawassociatesinc.com or 530-674-1150. Shaw & Associates is proud to support